So, hi everyone, Róisín here. As you know, we have come to the end of our crowdfunding, so this is a sort of a big thank you moment. As you know, we exceeded our total, so we're extremely grateful and happy about that. So as promised, we said we would send you some footage of backstage, so I'm just going to talk over a few clips that I thought I could share with you. Just so you can see what we've been doing backstage, the rehearsal room. We're not near the stage yet, no. So the other day, Jenny, who I don't think you've seen in many of the other crowdfunding videos, ran a little sort of voice workshop before we began moving, just because she has a lot more experience working with her voice and acting. As dancers, we don't always we often in a lot of contemporary dance now there's a lot of voice and dancers are expected to be able to do a lot, but I think often don't get the training, so it was good to have Jenny just to give us a few warm-up exercises. So I thought I'd put in a few videos here of the girls warming up, trying some stuff, quite silly. So they're gonna kill me for showing you. It's quite silly and it's quite fun and it's just exploring and anything goes. And so I think one thing for me that's quite important, quite good, what Jenny's doing here is like not getting scared by using your voice, because maybe when we use voice we think of singing, we think of perfect pitch or something, but the idea of using your voice, these are muscles that we can use. Sounds can come out. Don't have to be perfect sounds, but we can project, we can create something, and the sound doesn't even have to come from our mouth. We can hit parts of our bodies, we can roll across the floor. It's more about creating noise and using that as another part of your body, rather than trying to create a sort of perfect musical moment or something. So that was the other day, and then today we had our first, because we've all been quite busy, we had our first very long rehearsal today, and we are trying to create a certain scene. And this scene has come from, well, the material we will use to create this scene, as well as being based on a particular narrative moment or is inspired by a certain narrative moment in the book, also comes from various other improvised tasks that we've done. So just to give you a bit of insight into how that works, so a few days in previous rehearsals, I gave even the dancers a quote from the text, and myself included, I asked them to just, pick out a word or a few words or an image or a memory that maybe would occur to you from this text, and then it's create some movement or explore some movements in your body that come from that idea. The idea often in improvisation is not to just, if something says, I fell down the stairs, okay, you could literally just fall, but you could think, what does it mean to fall? Why would I fall? And what situation would be created that I would fall? I might trip on something, I might slip, I might deliberately fall, I might duck. There's different ways of falling. Of course, if you go into contact work, how you fall against someone else, but if we're staying just within the solo, and it's about then not also, for me anyway, not just, sometimes the first thing that you do is interesting, but often the first thing you do is habit. So you fall, often when we fall, we want to catch ourselves on our arms. We want to minimize the impact. We want to brace ourselves. a valid way of moving, a useful thing to have, but what are the other ways that we can fall? So just explore the options, and that often will tell you something about your body as well. Like, even just by doing the habitual thing, okay, my body likes to do that. Why does my body like to do that? What does that tell us about our bodies? What does it tell us about being human? Particularly falling, it's all about protecting yourself. We have this instinct that kicks in that we don't want to, and particularly it will prioritize parts of our body as well. If our face is going to be in danger, we'll close our eyes, we'll cover our eyes. So it's about putting yourself in a situation to learn something about yourself. And then, so for me, it's more about, rather than setting something necessarily, just finding, learning, and then bringing that out, and then creating something. So, we all have, before coming in today, we all had various solos from a certain text that we had worked with, and we use that then to go to a next stage in terms of relationships. So how can I relate my solo to your solo? We could learn each other's solos, we could do the same material, we could both do our own material at the same time, so you've got two people dancing but not doing the same thing. We could use stillness, we can use opposition, we can do our solos close together, we can do our solos far away, we can look at each other, we can avoid each other. We can then introduce contact. What parts of my solo, if I fall, instead of just falling on the floor, can I fall onto someone else's body? How do they then take my weight? What do they do with my weight? So it's just about continuing creating different levels.
Whenever you're ready.
Whatever you want.
Okay.
So I hope that was some way informative. I have just looked at the length of me talking, and it is nearly 5 minutes for one section, so I apologise for talking a lot. You have probably switched off by now, and I'm probably speaking into the void. But if you did stay all this way, I hope it was some way interesting, and that you feel you've gotten an insight into parachute dance and stuff. So yeah, once again, thank you so much, and hopefully we will all see you in August.